Hello, hello. Let me know if the audio is all working. This is a very impromptu, chilled stream on a Saturday evening. 11 p.m. Make a wish. How you doing, Sugar Beats? CMG, yeah, this is like a real impromptu sort of stream. I was gonna sort of sit down, do some sculpting, and I thought, why not stream it? You know. Sateo, how you doing? Alice, welcome. All right, let's get comfy. A lot of you, it's going to be the morning. Friday morning, I believe. Or Saturday morning, if you're in the US. MK, why so early? No, this isn't going to replace next week's stream. Like on Monday. This is just a little rando stream. So, yeah, let's get cracking. Jake, welcome. Alice, good to have you. CMG, that's all right. Plenty of streams to come. Why don't you get some sleep? It's not gonna be a long stream. It's just gonna be a chilled little stream. Sugar Beats, thanks so much. Me and Andrew Kadima. That'll be fun. That'll be really fun. Looking forward to it. Alrighty. So we're just going to chip away at it. Crack open your sketchbook, Photoshop, whatever. I'm doing sculpting. Doesn't mean you have to do sculpting. We can just chill out with some smooth jazz. And yeah, because I got to be a bit quiet as well because got someone in the house that's trying to sleep. So it's like a sneaky stream. Alright. So, we've got this guy. We've got the skull side, so I want to do him like half and half. So we've got his sort of expression. And then we've got the skull side for like anatomy study and all that sort of fun stuff. So I'm just going to refine him. Just sort of chip away at him. And chat as we go. Just a 10-hour stream, yeah. Depends how into it I get. You never know. Alright. Can you still hear? Yep, you can still hear that. Okay. Now the setup is jank as at the moment. This is like my iPhone awkwardly sitting on the edge of something. Worst angle ever, but that's alright. Let's get cracking. Yeah, of course you can post digital sculptures. No issues with that at all. Let's get my bloody head out the way. Let's make me tiny. No, let's not. Yeah, that'll do. Alright. Now I've got all these, so I've just recently made a couple of tools, a couple more tools. So these are made out of guitar strings. So these actually help. If you can see, and if we can get the focus better, zoomed in. So you might be able to see if I can get it just right. No, they're so fine. Basically, when you can probably see it up on the corner here more so. Right, like the little rake marks. So you do them enough, and you go down and down in sort of size of the guitar string, then you can get like pretty smooth. So we're going to be doing a bit of that today. Get that focus going. All right. Play some Frank Sinatra. Unfortunately, that would be copywritten. Mind you, I don't even really care about that, YouTube-wise. Anyway, I'd much prefer to have my own music going. I'll try and keep my hand out of the way as well. I've not figured out the best angle for this sort of stuff. And he never sleeps at a time. Ah, very cool. He's getting into YouTube. Nice one. Yeah, it's 11:18 p.m. So we might go for like an hour and a half, something like that, maybe 2 hours. See how we go. Nothing crazy late. Oh, Alice, yeah, it's amazing. So much fun. Particularly when you do your own stuff, like your own concepts and that kind of thing, and just try and stylize stuff in clay. Bloody good fun. It's slow going though, a lot of the time. Like up front, there's a lot of like chiseling out of things and that kind of stuff, but it's really just slow going. Try and keep my hand out of the way. What's a better camera angle? Maybe if I bring you around this way a little bit, so you're more looking behind my shoulder. Took it down a tad. And then refocus. But then we've got no bloody light. Hold on. Yeah, you know what? I can do this now. Yeah, that could be better. Alright, so yeah, I haven't figured out sculpt streaming yet. Thanks, Sugar Bee. Sort of make a GIF. Yeah, yeah, definitely. That sounds like a good idea. Sort of making a GIF or an animation of sorts. Let's get this in focus. Oh, it's so tricky. There we are. I'm locked in. Whoop. You're attached to me. Oh well. There we are. Okay. That's better. So I'm really just like, it's almost like sanding down these shapes. Ever so slightly. And I had my first bad sculpting day the other day as well. it was like a milestone. Wasn't very happy about it in the moment, but it happens with art and learning and all that sort of stuff. I really want to refine this side of his head actually. So we'll get start raking all this down. Thank you, plant. Mixed hey, Dad's in the chat. Everyone say hi to John. And thank you to Dad for lending me his tools to make these tools. So yeah, these are just guitar strings in wood. There's got to be a better way, because I mean I've got to get in front of the camera a lot of the time, so I try and do my best to keep an eye on where I'm actually sculpting from. Nico, welcome. Yago, good to see you. Sugar Beats, I'm inside sculpting for most of the days. I did take a photo of a spider that I'll share on Monday that I thought would be good to share on stream. It was a nasty looking one again on the side of the car. Plant and Gus Spring, nice one. Good to have you, Argo. Who is John Eblin? That is my dad, my father. Ariane. Oh, it is. It is super relaxing until it's not until it goes wrong, and then it's annoying as anything. But yeah. Joe, yeah, the sculpting never stops. That's it. No, I've actually been painting up that line work of Hobie, the spider punk. Yeah, doing the painting for that most of today. So that should be out in the next couple of days. Still got a bit to go. But I'm looking forward to that. Was very I don't know, freeing, that one, because it's because I wanted it to do it in a way where it's more less super tightly rendered, and because it's kind of punk and it's yeah, do what you want kind of vibe to the thing. Yeah, it's been good fun actually. See how even doing just a bit of that can just refine this edge. And what you can do is get some terps or turpentine, some of the isopropyl alcohol, or even get a flame to go over it and sort of smooth it out. I reckon we'll just keep it. I do like the look of this though. When these go into production, I would like to see a few of the tool marks still in there, so it's not just as smooth as a 3D print sort of thing. It's like seeing the brush strokes in an oil painting, I guess, instead of a digital print sort of deal. Oh, does this not give you the Sims vibes? Legit? You've just gone into the building menu. I might even kick it with a little bit of, let's catch up with chat. This is an oil and wax based clay. It's called Alien Clay. It's by Chavant. This isn't sponsored. This is done by Chavant, and it's kind of like their version of Monster Clay, I think. It doesn't dry, but it goes really hard. Like, so this is like the hard version. If you listen, like, it's like hard as shit, right? But then if you want to make reproductions of it, you got to like, what you call it? You got to make a mold and all that sort of fun stuff. So here's just sort of softening up the clay a little bit on the inside of the eye. So we got pyrotechnics on the stream as well. How's that? How's that for your money's worth? It's that everyone it is. Ah, Blissful, good to see you. Imagine a tiny little person sitting in the eye, yeah, like a ledge. And because it dries so hard, right? Sometimes you've got to do that with the, just to like soften it up a bit with the heat. Artistic Spartan, good to see ya. 10 a.m, nice. 10 a.m. in New York. Yeah, so kind of swapped the time zones. Maybe I'll do like shorter streams at night. Maybe just a quick little like 1-2 hour sort of deal. And the Mondays are a little bit longer, or however long they go. Some pre-stream drama with the dogs. Ollie, he was in here, he was hanging out, and then he decided just to take a shit in the corner on my carpet. So 2 minutes before the stream started, trying to sort that out. Huntsmans and cars are terrible combat, they are, but this one was like a really like black, like chunky looking spider. It wasn't a huntsman. Huntsmans don't bother me. This one was a nasty looking one. Alright, let's see what we've got. So with this jaw here, there's something like this happening, like this little triangle here with like real anatomy. So I want to try and emulate that as best I can. So we can kind of chunk that out. I've learnt to not put my fingers in front of the blade. I learnt that the hard way the other day. We can do a little bit of a fix up here. So I've got like a crock pot. You can't see this, but there's like a crock pot with like melted, this stuff that's melted. So it's like here, it's like super, it's like goopy as, right? But you see how fast it dries. Just putting that little bit in here. We'll just wait a minute. It's just like wax basically. Just got like a wax feel to it. Maybe think of like a candle or something. Blissful, yeah, you should. You should. Traditional is so much fun. As much as digital is nice, using your hands is so different. Never played The Sims, only played Roller Coaster Tycoon. Alien Clay. Lantern Illo. Yeah, Sugar Beach, you should. You definitely should. Alright, so now that's hard enough to start carving into now. So we can get this guy. Trying to find the sweet spot. Focus wise. Just start knocking that back. And then one thing that I've learned so far as well, it's one of the best tools you've got are your hands. You don't have to always use tools to get stuff feeling right. So even just smoothing it around like that is a lot faster than sort of messing around with tools. We need this part to come out a little bit more as well. So we can get like a little mushy bit. Very cool. Yeah, I've never tried air dry clay. I probably have when I was like a kid, but I'm looking at a epoxy sculpt as well, which seems like cool stuff, but it's so permanent. I don't like the idea of, as I'm learning as well, just like how permanent it is. And it's just like, yeah, I just spent however much on this stuff and I don't like the look of it. It's like, oh, too bad, it's hard as shit. Now you gotta go buy some more. Great business model, but not great for like learning. But what you can do with that stuff is like a benefit to it is like really like sand it down to like a fine, like super smooth finish. You can like do wet sanding and all that sort of stuff. Now what I might do here is get the lecron. So this is called a lecron. I'm assuming it's French, sounds very French. Lecron, if you're from Australia, is what it's called. Sort of knock in side part here, and what we can do good call, Dad. Good call. Yep. Alright, let's do that. I like it. It's like a team sport. Oh, hold on. Alright, so let's make sure I don't burn the bloody house down. Now that looks like it's close. It's not. There's like space behind it. It's an illusion. So we can like heat up the lecron. Ow, shit. Just hurt myself. Trying to look at what I'm doing. Look at, oh, now it smells like burnt hair. And that works really, really well. Beautiful. I remember doing this when I was a kid. So my dad's a dental technician, and this is this is mum or dad's tool, I can't remember. But he would take me down to where like either in the home lab or wherever he was working, just to occupy me. He'd sit me in front of his tools, have like the Bunsen burner going, and just like a ball of wax, and just give me one of these tools, and I just play. So much fun. I was a little pyro back then as well. I was so fascinated with fire. And the dogs are going at this time of night. They've been very naughty lately. Sugar beets. Do they want me to be dentist? No, there was no pressure to be anything, really. Just a good person. But no, they were awesome. They still are. They're fantastic. Mum and Dad, super supportive and sort of whatever I wanted to pursue. I wanted to be a professional skateboarder. Drove me to the skate park, and unfortunately I broke my arm. So that was over. I mean, if I really wanted to be a skateboarder, that shouldn't have stopped me, but it's how it goes. Alright, so now I'm like digging. So this is one of the things I'm trying to learn, is figuring out how deep into like take things, right? So if I'm looking, so this is just going from memory at the moment of the skull, but this thing here, I think this is the, turn this off before I burn the place down. This is the zygomatic arch, I think. Someone do a quick Goog, fact check me on that. Alright, so that gives the illusion what is poking out of the head. Now you can do one of two things. You can add stuff on, or you can carve in. So it's really just making that decision. So to make the illusion that this is poking out, I'm kind of carving in to the side of the head. Sounds simple, right? But it's one of those decisions that, it's kind of like with drawing, where I'm figuring out, okay, like with painting, it's like lighter, darker, warmer, cooler, that kind of back and forth when I'm painting, like with values and that kind of thing. It's a similar sort of feeling. It's like, okay, do I go in, do I go out? How much by, what angle, how smooth? Like these are all edges as well. Like how you think about edges in painting. These all create edges, and depending on the light source as well. I'm exceptionally lucky to have them, sugar beets. Yeah, you're right. A portrait artist that suggests simplifying the zygomatic arch, top side of it down into a straight line, but I see everyone else using big curves, and I'm beyond confused. All right, let's get a real skull out. This is turning into an anatomy lesson, but well, not a real skull. A copy of a skull. Give me 2 mementos. Oh no. Oh, we're back. Oh, lucky. Hey, I like him. I like how he's got it like that. Hey, what's going on? Wow. So we've got, don't have a name for this one. But I guess what I'm trying to replicate here in a stylized way is this section right here, right? Get my tea out of the way. Right, so you got this section here. You look at it from the front. When you're talking about just simplifying the zygomatic arch, the top side of it, so I'm assuming that's the top. I'm not fantastic at remembering anatomy, like names and stuff, but I'm assuming you're talking about the top side of this. You can simplify that as a straight line, because you've got to think, we're not drawing, like here I'm trying to actually copy the skull, but all of this, like here, is going to be covered by a muscle, right? Very rarely you're going to see such like a sunken in sort of side of the head. So we're going to be covered by muscle, tendons, skin, all that sort of stuff. So it kind of like stretches around like a piece of material. So yeah, that's not a bad idea to actually do that as like a straight line. But it depends, right? You got some people with different... Shit, where do I put this? I'm kind of locked in at the moment. Here we are. On the ground you go. So that's what I'm trying to sort of replicate here, but in like imagining this guy in the real world, if he had a skull, what that would look like. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Sugar beets, yeah. I don't know, there's something about the boxiness. Simplification more so, I think. It's, I don't know, it's just fun. You know what is fun? Keeping things in focus. There we go. So this is like a super smoother sort of tool. It's like, again, guitar string. I like the sort of DIY-ness of it all. You don't have to get the most expensive tools. It's the same with drawing and painting. The principles are what matter. What tools do I use for sculpting? There's a bunch of them. You've got, I think the Americans call it an X-Acto blade. It's just like a scalpel. You've got Stanley knife. Watch out. And you've got loop tools. So these, I'm pretty sure they're called a loop tool just because they look like a loop. And they're kind of, these are just guitar strings. All of these are guitar strings. You've got another loop tool, which is like a piece of metal. This is like out of a pack. So you can like scrape. And it comes off in like ribbons almost, which is really satisfying. Alright, so you get these little ribbons like that. And yeah, you just like really, over time, just start to find bits and pieces. You start looking around. I mean, I've got, this is another great one. A bloody old sushi train card. You know, you got my VIP number there if you want to go use it. Good luck, because these don't work anymore, and it's only in Australia. But I just sort of cut little edges or like serrations in the top. It kind of snapped, but it kind of works out. So then, just how at a smaller scale. I hate these dogs so much. I don't hate them, but just at certain moments, not a fan. So like here, you've got these really small sort of edges. If you imagine like a thick guitar string, how they got those like little ribs. This is just like a big version of it. It's like a rake. So you come down here. The reason you use a rake is to get rid of sort of high spots, and you want to do it in multiple different directions. At least that's what I've been told. Mind you, I'm very new to this. Right, so that's like a good starting point, and then you can come back through with the smaller sort of rake tool and do that, and it gets it kind of smoother, and then you can keep going and going and going and going. Autumn. Yeah, you could use a straight for that, like this side here. It depends on what angle that you're looking at it, because this one's kind of arching out, right? A little bit. But this could easily just be like simplified as like a straight there. Nothing wrong with that. Really depends on the style that you're going for. Yeah, sugar beets having a skull is cool. It's not a necessity. But this is mum and dad's. This wasn't mine. This is, and like the teeth. Like yeah, dad made up some like legit denture teeth in wax and added it to him. That was pretty cool. Razor blade. What's a Stanley blade? This guy. This is a Stanley knife. I don't know why it's called a Stanley knife. I'm not sure if that's Australian or not. Only? Who knows? All good sugar beets. Arts and craft. Not so much craft, really. Wasn't like a huge fan. I like drawing, that was about it. And drawing particularly in black and white because I was too afraid to do anything in colour for the longest time. So it was all graphite pencils, HBs, 2Bs, 2Hs, all that sort of stuff. Charcoal. Very, very seldom did I do colour, which was a shame. Alright, I'm going to simplify these teeth. Just a tad. So starting to get this skull shape. So this was a whole sort of plane there at the moment. We dug in. I want to refine it a little bit more. Ah, good call, Joe. Very cool. Now we know. It's a brand name. So technically, this is a Selco knife, not sponsored. Ah, Autumn box cutter, there you go, yep. Now I've also got to figure out how I want his neck, alright? Because I want him to kind of be like he is in the concept here, kind of like off to the side. So I've got to sort of take one of these sides. I think I've started taking this side of the neck down a little bit. See how I just hop around, like I bounce around just like with drawing. Don't want to stick into one place for too long. That's going to take forever. So we'll come back to the teeth. I've got to like make a mark on the table here, just to know where to place him so it's in focus. Yeah, so Yago, there's a armature underneath here. I don't have an example of it. I've recorded a lot of this process as well, but it's just a bunch of wire and aluminium foil, or as the Americans call it, aluminum foil. It's Yeah, because you don't want to use the whole thing. I mean, you can, but I don't think it's advised. It just saves you a bit of clay as well. So this is, I don't know, it's like not very heavy. This stuff's pretty light. Like it's because it's like a lot of it is wax. It's like, I don't even know how I would equate this. It's like 500 grams maybe. Not even that. 250, I don't know, something like that. Akira, thank you so much for popping in. Struggle with rendering. Well, this is a sculpting stream, so I can't really give demonstrations. Is there anything in particular, like if you ask questions, it helps me out a ton if you can give me a bit of context with the rendering. Like, is there anything specific, like are things just looking a little bit like mushy, like they're not sort of solid, or like that kind of, like those kind of describing words, particularly when I'm trying to do it without looking at it, can really, really help. So if you can give me a bit of context, let's see what I can do. Now I might just nuke his teeth out completely. Let's get some fresh clay. See, look, it's like melted wax, basically. And then we can smooth this all over to give us like a clean canvas to work with. We want to refine the teeth. Now, I'm not sure when casting this if it would be better to have it like fill in this somehow or make it less like cavernous. I think so. So you got to think about that as well. You gotta be careful when doing it. There's like a certain, there's just like a perfect temperature with this stuff. Too hot, it's just like liquid. A little bit cooler than too hot, it goes really chalky. It's almost like, I don't know, I think they call it like cheese hard. It's like that cheese, like hard cheese consistency is sort of what you want. So I've got to fix that underneath there so we can actually just get a big. Yeah, so that is tape. Yep, so that's like painter's tape. So that's part of the armature. Actually, no, I lie. I redid this armature underneath. This is wood. So that's actually in there. Wood. And you can actually see it. Yeah, no, before, because I actually did this with the aluminium foil and wire. And then I cut it out and then threw this in here so I can actually pop him on top of this pole. And then sort of turn him around, but it's just sort of easier to have him sitting on the desk at the moment. Oh, Mr. Mo TV, appreciate you. Lantern. I get it locally here in Adelaide. If you look up alien clay, you should see distributors or where you can get it. Thank you, Dad. Use the spatula end. That's a good idea. Spatula. Ugh. So yeah, sometimes this stuff like chips off. And then what we do just to like weld it together. That'll do. And yeah, I will be doing teeth. And tooth gems too. Yes, cool. I don't know about tooth gems. I can't make any promises. It's awesome for rendering. It comes with a whole PDF. I appreciate you, Blissful. Thank you. Yeah, Sugar Beats. I'm working on a course that'll have. It'll be a more broader look at my process for stylization, and there will be definitely all different types of people, genders, ethnicities, all sorts. So that is coming eventually. Is it muddy, washed out? I think I do too much blending. Okay, Akira, I pose a challenge to you. Try this. When doing you can just do a test or like a little study of something if you want. Do a whole thing without blending. No blending, no smoothing. Just do solid, hard brush strokes next to each other. And being able to do that, so for example, if you see this guy here, on the right hand side, I've got the mouse over here. All these transitions, you see how that's like a smooth transition? I want you to see if you can make that transition stair-stepped in values. Right, that's going to be a fantastic exercise. And once you can get something looking in the realm of 3D doing that, then you're home free. You can then smooth that as much as you want. And you know that the value structure is going to be looking right. So that's a lot of the, at least for me, the lot of the struggle was, yeah, blending too much and relying too much on the smudge tool or the airbrush, and not being able to identify the correct values. Don't want to burn myself, Dad. Be embarrassed on stream. Use the other end after heating it up, alright. Maybe this gets more views as well because there's fire. Doesn't even matter anyway. It's just a chilled stream. Alright. Heat it up a touch. Ooh, baby. Oh, we're gliding now. Look at that. Whoop, gliding too much. Too close to the sun. Ah. Yeah, this is good. Thanks, Dad. Let's get some more. Slop out in here. Fill that in to avoid air pockets that will make demolding practically impossible. Thank you, Joe. Using pressure pot, I'd imagine that would cause trouble too. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's fill it in then, I guess. Let's pack it in. What are we packing it in with? It's going to be clay, but what tool? This is, yes, strip. It's weird, I'm feeding him. Come on, dinner time. Yeah, so I might have to like make some sort of tongue. Or something, just so it doesn't look weird. Or worst case, I've got to close his mouth, which would suck. There was an awkward stage with all this stuff, and we are definitely there. I mean, I like this. I like what's going on here. That's kind of about it. Art of Ant. No kiln. This is just clay. This is just clay. Waxy, oily clay. Yeah, Blissful, go for it. It's a good prompt to anyone if you've been procrastinating, getting your sketchbook out, cracking open Photoshop, Procreate, Critter, Clip Studio. I don't discriminate. Whatever you do. Or if you got some clay, come hang out. Oh no. Yeah, so we got to really think about this. Because I've also got another one that I'm working on. It's a girl, like a stylized girl anatomy skull one. And her mouth is open too. We must fix. Thank you so much. Can you pop that over within the next like half hour? That'd be great. Good night, Dad. See everyone say good night to my dad, John. Hi, welcome. Kate White, isn't it? It's so different. So don't hurt them now, I'll try. No, I'll hurt my hand. I need to use my left hand just in case my right hand malfunctions. Yeah, I'm thinking about that as well. I was like, shit, my main thing at the moment is drawing. So I don't want to bloody cut any fingers off. Touch wood. Touch wood. I've got no idea what Uncle Waffles is. Do you recommend for starting learning digital sculpting? Heads up if for digital sculpting, heads if priority is you drink water. If you've got an iPad, Nomad Sculpt. I highly recommend Nomad Sculpt. It's sick. If not, Blender. Reason being, it's the only one I've ever really used, and I'm familiar with, and I can comfortably recommend it. For sculpting anything, really. think as well how all these transitions are going to work. That RSK, good to have you. Kolau, how did I learn to draw and think in 3D shapes? Lots of time and not going out very much. Kind of a joke, but kind of not. But really actively trying to think about that. Because there's a lot of times where I would feel like, I mentioned this in my YouTube video, that drawing sessions felt like a gamble. It was like, oh, maybe today's going to be a good drawing day or not, instead of having like a real focus and like goal for the session. Like, for example, I want to figure out how the brow works. Like if I want to draw 3/4 views, I just want to focus on the brow, you know, and like the eye socket and how the stylized eyes or whatever that you're drawing is would fit in the eye socket, you know. So, and then I'll just focus on that for that session, and then not be super strict with it. If I want to try different things and if it's feeling good, then I might go on to the rest of the head and blah blah blah. But yeah, just thinking about it, and then observing the real world as well. Actually looking and observing people, myself in the mirror when I turn my head. Like, I would look and just like figure out at what point does like this. So for example, here you see how you got that curve of this. Oh, hold on, my camera's spazzing. You got the curve of the eye socket there, right? At what point is that no longer a curve? It's like a straight line. Okay, and I'll just slowly go back and forth in the mirror. At what point, and then you can see on this side, where would that eyeball, like where would you see the eyeball at that point? You know, so you just like slowly but surely, and you're like, all right, cool, I'm getting comfortable with that. All right, let's try the nose. And then once you get really comfortable with stuff, then you can start pushing the shapes. And you don't think about, or you think less, I guess, about how to place the eye, or the sort of eye sockets, or the eye in the eye socket, sorry, I should say, or place the ear, or sort of the squareness of this jaw, for example. You can just play and be like, oh, maybe I push it down a little bit more. Maybe I'd make it a little bit wider, a little bit lower, or whatever. So yeah, I hope that answers the question without rambling away. It's like you're dipping your brush in water, but instead it's fire. That's it. That's a good way to put it, Joe. Do like a Muppet mouth. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I do want to keep it in like reality somewhat though. So I've got to find like a happy medium somehow. We'll figure it out. Most things are figure outable. We'll get there. Alright, pyrotechnics. Back on. Already burnt myself today, so let's take it easy. How's that for a thumbnail? Just like hold the eye up to the swear to God, bloody 12 o'clock at night, barking out the backyard, at nothing. But there is a positive. If there ever was something, they would go absolutely bunter, and we would know about it. So don't even try coming into this house because you lose your hearing because of all the freaking barking. My pleasure, Akira. The deer are welcome. Catch that at Joe. You have a good one too, Joe. Thanks for popping in. I might want to start painting a still life every day. Yeah, sugar beets. Look, I never feel like I feel the same. I look at other artists, I'm like, man, how do I get as good as that, you know? And at least for me, that feeling hasn't stopped yet. I think it's transformed more into like an actionable feeling though, instead of like a defeated feeling. It's like, all right, cool, let's figure it out. It's more of an excited thing. It's like, oh, that's possible. Let's try that. Oranges with cross contours. Whoa, Aries, how's that for a drawing homework? These dogs suck sometimes. I don't know if you can even hear him on the mic. You might be able to, you might not be able to. Tez, appreciate it. Carlisle, yeah, no problem. My pleasure. Sculpting Studio Paint a good alternative to Photoshop. I haven't really played around with it much, so I can't give it a good recommendation myself. But from what I hear, it's pretty decent. But yeah, I've not had a lot of first-hand experience with it. And I will only ever recommend stuff that I have experience with. Melissa, that's it. Live on Saturday. This is just like an impromptu. I'm just like, I feel like it. Let's do it. Stuff. Shabang. Throw them in there. Clean it up. Need to add some underneath the neck as well, because that looks jank as anything. Yeah, sugar beets. Yeah, that's a good way to. That's a good way to do it, and think about it as well. Turn it around. But yeah, no, I've been envious before. I am but a human. But it's just like, yeah, learning to, yeah, kind of change that mindset. Christian, welcome, my friend. Thanks, dude. Mr. Mo TV, this is Epidemic Sound, and I just typed in smooth jazz piano. So this is just a random playlist. So you can get like really, really detailed with this clay stuff as well. This is a rougher, this is like a, not quite a sketch phase, I guess, of the sculpt. We're just going into the more refinement. So you can get like super sharp corners, but maybe I don't like it that sharp, so we can just be like, no, get out of here. Just come down. Put him home. Pow. Shabang, get out of there. That's a better, feels a bit better. It's a little bit too scoopy. So maybe we cut it off here. More straight down. That feels a bit better. I even reckon the jaw could come back here a little bit. Let us add some more. You can't hear them? Oh, good. To Shah, welcome. Grecke is a good alternative to Photoshop. Sick. Yeah, I've heard that the brush engine's better in like Clip Studio Paint and Critter. But yeah, it is that thing of what you're used to is oftentimes just, yeah, worth just sticking to it for the time being. And my blowtorch has run out of juice. I want to get in this noise part as well, refine that. Just a smidge. most artists is, you feel the scary thing for most artists is realizing that it's not your hand drawing, it's the brain. If you can put your underpants on in the morning, you can learn how to draw. Res K, I like that. That shouldn't be scary, that should be motivating. How many times do I get messages of people asking you to draw them? To draw them, not too often. But often enough. Do any more? Am I going to do more longer form YouTube videos? 100,000 million bazillion gajillion %. I've got one coming out soon. And I've got to get into a cadence of putting them out more. Because I think the long form content is where it's at. Personally. But shorts, it's just like, yeah, feeds the algorithm, keeps the consistency going. Otherwise you wouldn't have heard from me for ages. HB, welcome. Is that a play on words, HB? As in the pencil? If not, it's a very lovely coincidence. Spacey Coyote Alt. It's called Alien Clay. It is a wax and oil-based clay that never dries out. I shouldn't say never, but it shouldn't dry out. I don't like crowds, but it'll be good for me to go. Maybe I'll meet artists or dog sugar beets. That's fantastic. Yeah, you never know. Almost guarantee there'll be some dogs there. If it's outdoors, guaranteed. Drink water, but you don't wear underpants. Each to their own, my friend. Go on, commando. You do you. Ah, HB, nice. Nice. Yeah, happy accent. How's that? Welcome. I'm liking this Saturday night. Chilled. Smooth jazz. Smooth sculpting. I'm digging this. Sugar beets, very cool. Yeah, shapes and no blending. That's my go-to at the moment. If I can get the shapes down. Then it's smoother sailing. Alright, this is a schmozzle. This is just, ugh. Gotta figure, you gotta sort yourself out, my friend. See how this just like knocks it back? I want to try this as well, like a sponge thing that I've seen. I haven't tried this before, so this is new territory. You've seen it here first. As long as it doesn't leave little boogery bits behind, I quite like it. It's rough enough to do something, but it's not so rough as to like gouge anything out. So this is cool. Good YouTuber to check out, Sculpting Geek. I literally just watched him before I popped on today, and I saw him use like something like this. and I like it a lot actually. It just sort of knocks back some of those. It does leave scratches, but that's fine. We can clean those up later. Yeah, I like that. Ooh, baby. Yep, that's sick. Shout out to Sculpture Geek. I don't know how annoying that is on microphone though. Right now I'm only doing, I feel like I'm always randomly saying Yiddish words, or I'm making things up, or maybe German, or maybe Australian gibberish. I would say the latter. Australian gibberish. What did I say? I don't even know. Do you guys, you know what Bob's your uncle means, yeah? For those in the US. Oh, I like this. This is sick. Yeah, that just really rounds off. It's almost, if anyone's used Blender, it's kind of like a rough, smooth tool. So, I like King of the Castle. I watched a clip of that today. Oh, alright. Yeah, it's really nice actually. It just knocks off some of those hard edges. That's sick. Kalau, you don't know what Bob's your uncle is? It's like bam, and Bob's your uncle. I didn't know that was an Australian thing. Or maybe it's an English thing. I don't know, for those in the UK, do you know what Bob's your uncle is? An explanation will be coming shortly. We haven't had any It's the Berries lately. We got to bring that one back into the rotation. Like this plane is the Berries. About people in a well. I can't remember. I haven't seen it in a very long time, but I do remember I did enjoy it a lot. So, Bob's your uncle. It's like, what's the American equivalent? It's like, so how I made this tool. You get a piece of wood, whack a guitar string in there, put a bit of glue in there, and Bob's your uncle, you got a sculpting tool. And there you go. Yeah, that's it. Bob's your uncle. I don't have an uncle, Bob. But I was brought up with those kinds of sayings and I never questioned them. You say them enough times in context, it's just how it is. Her uncle was coin when... There you go! Look at that. Sugar beets coming in clutch. Alright, let's have a look here. I'm going to fill in this eye, so we've got a hole in there. Just going to whack in some glue. Ah, that's all that's needed, sugar beets. Eduardo, it's alien clay. I should have put this in the description beforehand. My apologies. Alien clay hard, to be specific. I think the other equivalent to it is like monster clay. Pontormo drawings and paintings. Eyebrow is so peculiar, and I think you'd enjoy sculpting something inspired by Pontormo. I can't look it up right now just because my hands are dirty as in the keyboard and everything. It's just like a little bit of a pain. But I'll try and remember. If not, remind me again on another stream when I'm readily available to crack open the browser and have a squeeze. Alright, we've sealed his eye. It's still a bit janky. I want to get one of those like circle, like those round ball styluses. Those would be nice. Oh, these dogs, I tell you what. Woosa. Woosa. Bad Boys, anyone? Bad Boys 2 was my favourite. Oil-based plasticine which never dry. No, this one doesn't dry. Alright, so that cleans up the inner eye a little bit. What else have we got? I think we can play... Let's sort out his mouth. Mind you, it's 12:38. The time has flown. I've just got to be mindful of that because I don't want to ruin my sleeping pattern too badly. Alright, so I think his lip can come out, his lower lip, just looking at it, can come out a little bit. a little bit of an underbite. That's what I'm going for. So then with that logic, his chin would come forward a little bit as well, I think. One tip as well, I really like getting the profile view correct first. Well, not first, but I've just really keeping an eye on that. Alright, so maybe that lip's just a little bit more protruded out, so then we can dig in a little bit of indication of the lower teeth. So we've got the protrusion right. I think it's just upping it. So it's got a bit of that shape upwards. That's better. That feels a lot better. It's just tiny little tweaks, but even from the front now, it feels a lot more natural. There's some tweaking to be done, definitely, but it's just like, yeah, getting those big basic shapes in, just like drawing and painting and all that sort of stuff. I think his teeth can even go back a little bit. I might be wrong. Or I can be 100% correct. This is a handy little tool for doing stuff like this. It's like really squaring stuff off. Oh, these dogs. Ay, 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 Dios mío. Do you think sculpting helps with thinking in 3D when drawing 1,000 gajillion %? This has helped my 2D more than anything. Even like like using software like Blender and sort of Nomad Sculpt and all that sort of stuff. It's helped my 2D work tremendously. Alright, so we know that the bottom teeth are here, so they've got to cut in somewhere here. sculpt, I want to try it. I love to draw and sometimes. Okay, how hard was it to learn to sculpt? I want to try it, but I love to draw, and sometimes when I'm doing something else, I feel like I'm wasting valuable practice time for my digital art. Well, that's why you can. Well, that's how I actually started, like sculpting on the computer, because I thought that I could use it to get a better understanding for my digital work. So if you frame it in that way and actually use the sculpts as study tools, then just give it a shot, like in your spare time, instead of watching Netflix or whatever. Replace it with a session of sculpting. So then you're not replacing your digital art, your 2D stuff. You're trying it out in your spare time or your other spare time. Because there's nothing quite like actually holding the thing in your hand, you know, and understanding like this is a plane and this is a plane and this plane is different than this one, and you can actually feel the difference between these two. You know, you can feel the plane of here and underneath the brow. So then when you're drawing, you can sort of like understand this stuff. Sorry, I'm whispering. There's someone in the next room asleep or trying to sleep, so I'm not trying to be all jazz radio DJ voice. Let's have a look. This is better than true crime. Holy frick, how's that for I need that on my website. No, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Sugar Beats. Glad to have you here. No, glad to have you, Eduardo, as well. Alright, from where it was, we're getting somewhere. Slowly but surely. Alright, let's fill in this section. Ooh, yeah. Now what I want to do before I wrap up the stream, I'm not leaving just yet, but before I do, I would like to do some of this raking across most of it. Then I'll get some turpentine and then sort of brush it on. And what that does is it melts the clay temporarily, and it sort of just it smooths everything out, so you can really see the the forms, the shapes really clearly. What am I looking for? Bit more of a sharper dip underneath that bottom lip, which can even accentuate that sort of expression even more. Okay. Ant 21Z, there is stuff inside. So you've got like a wooden thing here so it can like stick on a pole and sort of turn around. So it's called an armature. Let's just quickly clean up some of that underneath here. Where's that tool? Here it is. I reckon keeping that simple to begin with is going to help me out a lot. So even just doing that clears up a lot of the shapes, so I can just see things a little bit clearer. And this is how I'm thinking when I'm drawing. If I was to draw this skull, I would be thinking about this as a one whole block. I wouldn't be thinking about the individual teeth. I'll be thinking about this lower jaw as one whole block shape, this chin and like jaw as one whole sort of like solid block shape. So many parallels to the old 2D land. And a good visualization of why you want to use the rake tool here . How well the camera can pick that up. Let's say, I'm going to keep my hands super still. I start raking over here. You can see there's like little divots. It shows them up really easily, and that's where you've got low spots. So if you keep going over it, keep going back and forth, it sort of fills them in over time. And if you can't fill them in, that's when you get an extra little bit of clay. And sort of pop it in there. Now it's sort of super smooth. And you do that for everything. And Bob's your uncle. You got a smooth surface. Eduardo, so it's a guitar string, so it wraps all the way around, so it's basically like this wire here, but very small, how it's all sort of wrapped around, so then when you drag it across, it sort of adds those rake marks, and then you can get smaller and smaller gauge guitar strings, and just sort of think of them as sandpaper. I might change this ear shape a little bit. And then back around, something more like that maybe. Maybe not actually. It's alright, you can always change it. What's the tool that smooths out clay? The one you said that melts it temporarily. So that's turpentine, so it's like a liquid. It's not great for you. Like, it's pretty potent sort of stuff. That mixed with like rubbing alcohol or 99% isopropyl alcohol. Just got to be careful with this stuff because it's very flammable, and you want to be in a very well ventilated area if you're going to be doing this. Or you can use a flame, like a pin flame or torch or that kind of thing. Of which I've unfortunately run out of gas for, and it's not easy for me to get. No. So I'll just make do with what I've got at the moment. How's that for ASMR? Can you see it? No. I know, probably didn't pick it up, but I like the sound of that. Christiana, hello, it's kind of dead here, isn't it? I guess in the chat, maybe everyone's just head down doing their work. Bruno, welcome. Someday I'll be doing that. Awesome, Bruno. It's gonna be a good day when you do it, because it's a hell of a lot of fun. Christiana, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, this is more of like a chilled stream. It's not like a massive back and forth. Sugar beans. It's more just, yeah. But no, thank you for the kind words. Oh, it means a lot. Captain Candy, what's going on? Welcome. Alright, let's rake down some of the other side. Give it a lick of terps and isopropyl alcohol, and we might call it a night. Maybe even or even use our super high-tech Sushi Train card, Sushi Train rewards card. That's what's up. It's actually one of the more useful tools I've got. Stiana, appreciate it. You have a great day. Oh, sugar beads. Rainbow face paint it is. Sounds good to me. These dogs. Slowly getting there. I do have some new videos coming up, Eduardo. Yep, got one on line weight. So it's going to be a YouTube video. I'm really looking forward to releasing that. I've got to get into a better cadence with YouTube. Sugar beads, yeah. That's not a bad idea, because they can be simplified very, very easily into really simple shapes. Ah, Tiger Salmon, thanks so much, welcome. Good to have you. Oh, that was not a nice sound. let's get back to cleaning this up. Just a smidge. I think we can actually straighten this center line up a little bit more. Do the lighting for ears now. Appreciate it, sugar beets. Yeah, got to do that subsurface scattering. Some call it a crutch. A crutch, as in not what it sounded like I said. Some call it a crutch. I call it a crutch. No. Some call it a crutch, I call it a necessity. Same with rim lights. It's not really a necessity. It's probably a crutch. Anyway. Alright, these planes are feeling good. I think the eyes can be a little bit bigger, but we're not going to mess with them too much today. As I start messing with them. Okay. Alright, catch you later, sugar beets. Have fun at the parade. It's my absolute pleasure. I'll catch you in the next stream. And no, I won't stay up too late. Oh shit, it's 1:20. Okay. Let's quickly speed sculpt. Yeah, sometimes you've got to be watching out for that. You put this stuff in the microwave, or you've got a hot pot. The stuff gets hot. Catch you later, Blissful. Thanks for popping in, and enjoy the rest of your day. I'm not going to be on for much longer, so you're not going to miss much. Just cleaning this up. Get some raking going quickly. Okay, let's try the turpentine. So what it does is it basically, from what I can tell, just melts that top layer. So if you've got it smooth enough with like the raking, then it can give it quite a nice sort of base to continue working on top of. Again, do this in a well ventilated room if you are doing this. So for those of you that are familiar with Blender and sculpting, this is the equivalent of holding down Shift and smoothing ever so slightly. You can get rid of some of those rake marks as well if you don't want them, depending on how fine you want that you did them in the first place. And this won't be shiny forever. It's just initially as I put the stuff on it. See, even the inside of the eye is getting a little bit smoother. It's quite nice. It's just a little paintbrush. Nothing fancy. You want like a not nice paintbrush. I mean, this is accidentally a nice paintbrush, but it's the only one I had. Back when I was doing oils a long time ago. See, there's a big sort of bump here. We want to get rid of that eventually. That's what we kind of want to get rid of with the rake. See how it smoothed it right out, which is rather satisfying. So this is also like a shorter bristle brush as well. You can like use to really rough up the surface if you want. There's a little something to fix here as well. We'll save that for another day. Smooth out some of the stuff that we're working on in the ear. Alright, so now it's looking a bit shinier. Art of Ant. I work on art every day. Oh geez, I almost put that into my tea. Alright, be careful of that. Not every day, no. Depends what you classify as art though. Is content art? If that's the case, then yep. Editing video, is that art? If that's the case, yep. like a rag. We've just got this little bit of material here. It's like Hessian sort of material. Jimenez, welcome. Apologies for butchering your name, I'm sure. I want to like smooth it out a little bit more. See, even that transition under the neck's a lot nicer now, so it's not finished, but it's enough to sort of give us a nice base, you know. But cheese and crackers, this is amazing. I appreciate it, Tiger Salmon. Yeah, it's not a very talkative stream, but that's alright. This is just a chilled, impromptu, random stream. Our regular Mondays, Australian Central Standard Time, are gonna be there. This is just something I felt like doing. Otherwise, I would have been doing this by myself, which I'm fine with as well. But I thought, why not chuck the camera on? That's why I should really have him on that pole, because I'll make mistakes like that. That's okay. He's still very much a whip. Work in progress. I guess I meant everything related to your art business, then yes. Yeah, most every day I'm doing something in regards to that. Because I want to put these sculpts into production and have that as another side of the business. I'm looking forward to ramping that up. And sort of like sell these sculpts and study tools and that sort of stuff. Alright, so this is where we got to so far. Not bad. These eyes need to be a bit bigger if we're looking at this this concept here. Let's move the camera back just a smidge. There we are. So this is where we're at. Okay, not bad. See how I'm liking the profile. I'm liking the neck. So he's got like big traps. He's like a big dude. So the traps are quite big. Then we just got to detail the skull, figure out how to fill more of the inner of the mouth. Like sort of get the tongue in there somehow, but make it look somewhat natural. Fix up this side. I've got to figure out what I'm doing on this side. So I've got to figure out the rest of the back of the skull here. Yeah. Might even throw a clavicle up here to show that this is like the anatomy side of him. I don't know. I mean, I could go as far as adding sort of vertebrae at the back, like showing the neck somehow popping out. I don't know, there's only so much I can go because of the armature that's inside. But we'll see. We'll have a play. Also did this guy the other day. If you haven't seen my stories, I wasn't on stream. Old mate Hobie, he was fun. I want to update him because I used him for my painting today, and I've changed his face a lot to be more like even more stylized and played around with the proportions. So I might even redo this guy and do him in, I'll do it like closer to what I've painted. That'll make sense when that comes out. And I'll show you where I'm at with the other one as well before we head off. So this one is taking shape slowly but surely. So this is just like a more feminine version with those kind of proportions, the stylized proportions. I've got to come out and give her like a sort of clavicle and a bit of a neck sort of thing, and then come up with a stand. But yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. Let's put it back. Alright, well, I think that will conclude the late night, early morning sculpt session that was just out of the blue. Appreciate you all popping in. It was hello. Yeah. So yeah, it was absolute pleasure, and oh god, that's going to be a better angle. There we go. And yeah, I will see you Monday around 10:30 Australian Central Standard Time. My website is not working. Uh-oh. Let's have a look. Oh no. No. Thank you so much. I've got to fix that. So I will catch you soon. Toodaloo.